results are in. It is a new era for Louisville. Craig Greenberg will be the next mayor of Louisville after defeating Republican Bill Deariff. During his campaign, he talked about improving public safety, maintaining abortion access, and unifying the city of Louisville.
And we have Mayor-elect Greenberg live in the studio with us this morning. Mayor-elect, thank you for being with us. Has it hit you yet?
Probably not. It's great to be here. It's been a whirlwind. It was a wonderful night last night with supporters from across the entire city responding to text messages all night and morning, and it's wonderful to be here, but I'm ready to get going again. It's very exciting for our future of Louisville.
Yeah, you said you're already caught up on text messages.
Getting close, getting close.
But maybe not on sleep, right?
Definitely not on sleep, definitely not.
All right, well, let's get right to it, Mayor. Universal pre-K, a priority for you, you said, and can you talk more about what that means for families immediately?
Yeah, I think that every 3- and 4-year-old child should have the same opportunity to succeed regardless of what circumstances they're brought into in life. Research is clear that kids will lead a safer life, a healthier life, have more opportunities if they start education early. And so my goal is to make universal pre-K a reality. Governor Beshear, who was with us last night, is committed to this as well. And so I'm really excited about creating a public and private program that can make universal pre-K a reality right here in Louisville. Let's start putting Louisville on the map for some of the right reasons.
You know, many people may be wary comparing you to your predecessor, Greg Fisher, because of your party affiliation. How do you feel about that, and what are you doing to separate yourself from that administration?
Well, the time for politics is over. We had a spirited, long campaign. I really am appreciative to my opponent, Mayor Bill Deariff, who ran a strong campaign. I was honored to speak with him last night. I'm sure we will find ways to work together. So now it's time for all of us in the city to work together, to come together, to unify, regardless of your political party, of your race, of what part of the city you live in. We all want to improve public safety. We all want more affordable housing. We all want better education for our kids, more good-paying jobs, and so much more. So let's find ways that we can work together, even if we don't agree on everything. I look forward to working with people, listening, and being constructive about working together.
You've been involved in the development of West Louisville for some time, and sometimes it gets pushed back because of fears of gentrification. How do you plan to toe the line of economic development and gentrification and pushing people out?
That's critical. I actually ended my campaign walking in the Russell neighborhood with Jackie Floyd, with Steve Yancey, and with some others, talking to neighbors about just that. And I think it's key to listen. There is so much investment that West Louisville needs. We need to invest in Russell neighborhood and the other 8 neighborhoods of West Louisville. But we need to listen to make sure that we're supporting their needs, we're providing the services and the infrastructure that the residents need to create more jobs there. And so that's going to be a key part of the early days of my administration.
In talking public safety, I know that was one of your main campaign issues. First, will you keep Chief Shields on? And second, are you willing to reopen negotiations with the FOP to potentially raise salaries to retain officers?
Well, I'm not going to be making any personnel announcements yet. It's still early for that, but I definitely will be doing that in the very near future. And I want to have a very good relationship with the hardworking men and women of LMPD. There are so many on LMPD that are working so hard every day to protect all of us, to keep us safe. I want to support them. I want to work with them to make sure that they have the best training and that we have the most trusted and the most transparent police department, and that we can get additional officers onto LMPD so that we have the resources necessary to prevent crime from happening and not just responding. But it also is more than policing. To have a safe city, we need to do more than just police our way to safety. We need to invest in the root causes of poverty. We need to invest in more programs for our kids for after school and on weekends. We need to invest more in mental health resources. We had a comprehensive campaign platform during the campaign about improving public safety, and that's what we'll be working on as mayor.
You know, last night during your acceptance speech, you mentioned Simmons College. You talked
Yes.
about the ban a little bit. Louisville's only historically black college. What do you plan to do to bring more emphasis to that? Because you said you would like to see Louisville be an HBCU city.
That's right. I definitely would love to see Louisville be an HBCU town. It was great to have the Simmons College marching band with us last night as we celebrated. And I think it's critical. I think it's critical for the educational opportunity for black, but all kids and youth in Louisville. But I also think it's an important part of the economic revitalization of West Louisville, is that there be an educational institution that is part of the catalyst for growth and opportunity in West Louisville. And so I'm excited to work with Dr. Cosby and others, and really others throughout the entire faith community. I have learned so much by working with the faith community throughout the campaign, from listening to them, understanding what they can do to be a part of the solution here in Louisville. And so I'm excited to work with faith leaders from across religions and across this entire city on moving Louisville in a new direction.
Speaking of the direction that you want to move it in, who have you looked to for guidance as you take on such a big responsibility?
Well, I think there are certainly other cities that are doing things well, and so it's sort of a little bit of a pick and choose from different cities. For example, as we look to address our homeless crisis, Houston has a housing first model that I think has some elements that we really should embrace. But there's not one specific city where I say we need to do exactly just that. We need Louisville to be authentically ourselves. We need to have the solutions that work for us here in Louisville. And I know that people across the whole city have great ideas and want to be a part of the solution. That's what I've heard during my entire campaign. There is a great sense of urgency to get to work, to take action. And so I'm excited about being the next mayor and working with so many people across the city.
One more tough question for you.
All right.
Louisville versus Bellarmine tonight. Who you got?
Well, I've been a lifelong Cards fan, but I graduated from Ballard when Coach Davenport was the coach there. I had the highest respect for Coach Davenport, but I got to stay true to my Cards. So let's go Cards.
All right, there
But
you go.
I love you, Bellarmine, too.
Oh, yeah, we got
President Donovan's doing a great job there. I'm excited about what Bellarmine's doing, what Spalding's doing, what U of L is doing, what Simmons College is doing. We have so many great educational institutions in our city, and I'm excited to work with all of them.
We do. All right. Mayor-elect Craig Greenberg, thank you for joining us in studio this morning. We hope you're able to get some sleep.
Thank you all for having me. Look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.